Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Bastards post-game show where the Red Sox lose again. Woohoo! By a final score of 3-0. They traveled north of the border to Canada to play the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are struggling a little bit. They're on the outside looking in to that wild card for that last spot. But lo and behold, the Red Sox lay an egg, lose 3
Yep.
nothing. And they didn't even score a run. Tristan Casas was out of the lineup, something with a sore shoulder. Maybe he has a sore back too from putting the team on his back for too long
Yep.
during the All-Star break. But I want to welcome Brendan in. He's already ready to go with the Celtics, I can see. Who are you supporting for the Celtics? Who's the jersey?
Jaylen Brown today.
Jaylen Brown.
I
The
wanted to wear my.
$295 million man, right?
Hopefully, he takes the step forward. That's what we need from Jaylen. Um, when it comes to the Red Sox, it's not really about them anymore when it comes to this dance. Toronto has things to play for when it comes to this home series homestand against the Boston Red Sox. They're in it with Texas. They're in it with Houston's probably going to win that division, but Seattle is in that mix as well. The Toronto Blue Jays have a lot on the line when it comes to making the playoffs with such a talented team that they have. They really can't flop out and miss the playoffs at the expense of the Boston Red Sox playing spoiler or Seattle. Really, that just clicked. And also when it comes to AL East, it's tied right now. It's a tied race at the top between Baltimore and Tampa. Tampa's been going through everything and everyone. Everything has happened in Tampa. They're still somehow on the top versus the young gun ho arms and bats between Gunnar Henderson and Mountcastle, uh, holding Baltimore in there. It's a tight race at the top. It's exciting.
The Rays have really went to a tailspin. That August was very rough with losing people for very sick, disgusting allegations. I just want to make sure that that is put out there with Yonder Franco and other issues that have gone on with that team with Tommy John surgeries and everything like that. Some real wacky, freaky things that you would never want to see on a team. I think they're young and hungry. I think the Orioles are the team that are going to get that AL East. I do. But I do want to dial it back to the beginning of the season because nobody expected the Baltimore Orioles to be atop the AL East for the most part in the season. Nobody did. I
Yeah,
had
they
the Blue Jays. I pinned them at the beginning. Honestly, if the Blue Jays don't make the playoffs, there will be changes for that team. And what I find interesting, Brendan, on the Blue Jays front is our guys like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette and Gavin Biggio and even some of the arms that are in that rotation. They don't have any longevity. There's no long contracts or anything there. So this is a very win now mode that the
precarious.
Blue Jays are in. And if they don't do anything, that team is going to be blown up so quickly.
Oh
And
yeah.
I will tell you, there are some players on that team I would be in fairy tale land if we could get them onto the Red Sox. Vlad Guerrero Jr. would be my guy. I would have here in a heartbeat. I would have that guy. I would shoot Tristan Casas to the moon. Say sayonara, goodbye, and Vlad is your first base DH type or whatever that was there. I just like the mold of that team. I don't understand how they can't win because they have the talent, like you said. That rotation is, I mean, very formidable. Jose
Nick.
Barrios through tonight. It was great. Uh, but it goes down the line. Kevin Gausman, a guy that has always been a Red Sox killer. That is a talented team.
Oh, Nick, they are. And they've underperformed not just this year, but years in the past as well. I remember, I think it was 2021 when the Red Sox were in that. Um, they beat the Yanks in the wild card. I think Toronto fell to Tampa, um, or a West opponent. But Toronto was really that formidable foe in 2021, I believe, that the Red Sox were really in trouble in that playoff run. But they collapsed, not then, but honestly, every year since, they've always been that team that has the talent on paper that's underperformed. So you really expect more from the Blue Jays when it comes to that rotation and those bats. I think Vlad Guerrero Jr. on this team would be the ideal protection for a said Rafael Devers. I think if you put those two together, that's an unstoppable force that could be in for years to come. I have been singing for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. forever. I do really enjoy the potential of Tristan Cost, but I know what I have with Vladimir Guerrero, and if you put him on this team, he just needs this change of scenery where he comes into a place that's really serious about baseball. Wow, the sky is the limit for that offense. And then you bring in those arms, Yamamoto. I don't know if you can get Blake Snell, but with this change of ownership, anything could happen. I mean, not change of ownership, but change of baseball
I was
operation.
going to say, do you have any other breaking news to share? But no, there's no other breaking news. John Henry didn't sell the team as of yet. It's just Bloom for right now. But it seems like with all these moves that Brendan has right there, I'm just going to put your name into the hat right now. Let's just put you as the GM. I mean, you're telling me all the things I want to hear. So sign me up. Sign me up for that.
I've
I have an opening. There's a vacancy.
Now. But yeah, I mean, the talent on George Springer was the name I was trying to think of earlier. So good on that team, and he just underperforming. Like, he comes into Toronto, and this team, they go for Springer. It looks like such a good move on paper. The roster looks so talented, and then just collapse. I mean, I expect a lot more from the Blue Jays, I believe. We'll see if they can make a postseason run, but they have to make the dance.
The good news for them is that they play the Red Sox right now, and they should sweep them. So we'll see what happens on that. I do want to mention, because the Red Sox, yes, they did play. The big highlight was Bello did lose, but he did give you 10 Ks. He still gave up 3 runs. It's still not great. It's not great. It's quality, I guess, but I need better. I need better.
Yeah, and Bello can go deep in those games because he is a pitch for contact pitcher. The defense has improved around him somewhat, where that strategy actually works. I mean, you see it with Cutter, and it really doesn't. Cutter ends up throwing 15 to 20 extra pitches a night due to errors from the infield. Just goes to show how poorly the roster construction was. I mean, if you still are defending a guy that fielded a team that was the worst ranked defense in the league, and it wasn't close, coming up on almost 100 errors total for the season, it just goes to show that you don't know ball. You don't know ball.
Trevor Story also made an error tonight at shortstop. So all of you killing Kike Hernandez and that rotation they had earlier, if Story can't hit, Story can't do anything. I mean, I know his glove has been pretty good. I will say that, pretty good. But he's not perfect. He made an error here tonight. So hopefully change is a good thing as the future allows for the Red Sox. The last thing I want to mention is the Red Sox now at the loss fall to 74-74. You do the math. That means they're 500 on the season. Tomorrow, if they lose, they're under 500. So Einstein right here, myself, just wanted to make sure our mathematicians knew how to do math properly. I don't know if the Red Sox know how to do math properly, but I'm keeping track. And one more loss after 74 means you are under 500, and that will be not very good. Any final thoughts, Brendan, before we wrap here for tonight?
I mean, Trevor Story was just double downing on that 2021 run. It was Heim trying to make a move that didn't work. Heim's out. We need someone new in that's willing to wheel and deal and make the right move and not be afraid to make the wrong move.
Tomorrow it's Chris Bassett who will win, and Tris Sale will go tomorrow, probably giving you 3 innings. We'll talk about that tomorrow.